Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Map vs Snails Discord race. Tonight I'm joined with Welsh Boy. How are you doing tonight, Welsh?
Not too bad, thank you. This should be an interesting race, to say the least. Looking forward to it.
There's going to be some tears after this, I feel. One of them is going to come out on top. It's going to be feisty. Yeah. Yesterday in the community races, there may have been some early indications of how it's really going to go.
Yeah, and I suppose the tears are nothing to do with the rain that Iracing have promised us for the last year or so. But that hasn't arrived, so we'll have to make do with tears of competitors and such in the meantime, I guess.
Well, I'm still crying waiting for this rain to happen.
I grew up in North Wales, there's plenty of rain.
I'm pretty sure you were born with a raincoat in Wales, were you not?
That and flippers, yes.
Lovely place though, lovely place. Always nice and happy people of Wales.
Yeah, and a nice wake-up call from the RAF most mornings, if you live in the right place.
Lingo whoosh.
Yep, and if you look up the Mach loop on YouTube, you'll see what I mean. But there we go.
I think growing up, I could always see the Brecon Beacon from Lancashire. I think that's in Wales.
Yeah, but it's in South Wales. Surely you mean Snowdonia.
Maybe, I don't know. I was very small back then.
Yeah, the Brecon Beacon's near Merthyr Tydfil that way, like in the valleys, as everyone keeps saying to me, even though I'm from North Wales.
Adults may have lied to me as a child. How dare they?
Oh, I know, right? Adults, what are you going to do with them? As we're watching, Andy Rabbit's put in some practice laps. Excuse me. And so, Jack, you want to tell us the format of how all this is going to shape up tonight?
You would think I would be prepared for this. You are totally correct. I am going to tell you, as you can see, at the top, there's about 12 minutes of practice now, and then we're going to go into a 15-minute qualifying session. I believe that is open qualifying. And then after that, we'll be going into a heat race of, I think, 20 minutes. A 20-minute heat race, followed by a 40-minute reverse grid forced pit stop race. So that's going to be interesting to see how the strategies of each team play out. We are hoping to have some numbers to help you keep track afterwards. But what we should be able to show you is Snails and map teams on the timing tower, so you can always see which Snails are currently outperforming or which maps are currently outperforming.
And I would like to point out that the map team are in no way affiliated with the Ordnance Survey. For those who are not blessed to be born in Britain, the Ordnance Survey provide maps.
They're really bright orange maps that you just get given. So I don't think I've ever bought one, but I've been given so many of them. All the orienteering I used to do.
Oh, good grief. Yeah, I failed my map reading exam in the Air Cadets 4 times. I don't think I have a career as a cartographer anytime soon. But yeah, it's so welcome to Okayama, I guess, as Andy Rabbits is going down the main straight here towards the imaginatively named first corner. As we cut to Henrik, Steamroller, I do beg your pardon. And
Steamroller.
I'm trying to figure out, Steamroller, then I'm trying to figure out where he is on the track map. And he's clearly running in stealth
in the
mode.
Midsection.
Ah, right, I think. He's just coming up to Redmond Corner, I think.
Yes,
my track map is out of date, so I'm just going to close it. And up to Hobbs Corner now, which leads to Mike Knight Corner, and the imaginatively named Last Corner. They really have pushed the boat out with the corner names.
Last corner all the way on the run down to first corner.
And yes, that's a run down to first corner, which leads into Williams and then the Moss S and the Atwood curve. So Okayama, a tough little track, also very good to learn on because you've got a different combination of fast sweeping corners, heavy braking zones, medium speed corners and everything, and it's good to learn to drive these Mazda MX-5s actually.
I believe.
weight transfers and stuff like that.
I believe the first track I ever raced on iRacing... Actually, no, sorry. Lime Rock was the first one I practiced on, and Okayama Short was the first one I ever raced on, and got a terrible P12 out of 13.
Oh, that's respectable. I think I drove around Alton Park Short, the first track I drove on in iRacing. As we were watching the ever lightningly quick Tobias Sek as he gets a four-wheel drift going in the Mazda there. But weirdly, I don't think he's going to be the one to watch in this race. The one to watch is actually going to be Dan Fraser, who is an absolute beast in the Mazdas. Because he does race them in a league pretty exclusively, I understand. As Tobias Sek goes past the DRS trigger, but of course no DRS on the Mazda, unfortunately.
What did they do? Open the boot?
I'm thinking most of the Snail cars have the same livery, because I've just seen one ahead of Tobias with a very similar livery.
Tobias has... So it looks similar, but it looks different at the same time. And it's just Christmassy.
Oh, I guess it's the same livery, but different colours.
You could be right there.
And different base colour. So, yeah, the Snails, keeping it festive and rapid, they hope, for this match. I don't actually know how this came about. Don't suppose you'd be willing to fill us in, Jackknife, on that, or?
It was just Henrik running his mouth, really.
I see.
So there was the charity race for Crisis last week, and then on the build up to that, Henrik, on behalf of MAP, decided to challenge the Snails to a community race, and then the anger has only grown since then.
I'm just disappointed there were no gauntlets thrown. So I have it on good authority from Slevint that the Snails do have the same livery, and there are dark and lights with red, green, gold, and blue base colours. Thank you, Slevint. Thank goodness it doesn't all depend on us, eh?
I believe the Snails livery was made by D. So I can't remember which D. Maybe D Smith, who's in the race.
Yeah,
and then Fly Bright of MAP was the person who made the MAP livery.
A very striking livery. Mace Windu would love that, given the amount of purple on it. And yeah, but I mean, both sets of liveries look amazing. To be honest, which is a testament to the creators. I think I can just about draw with a crayon.
I believe now we have all 30 members of this race in.
Excellent.
As far as I can tell, anyway. Time and Tower only shows the first 20, but we do have 30. Two of them yet to set laps. D. Smith being the designer of the livery, who's got his own.
He's got his own unique delivery.
Because he's special.
There's always one. Unless Trading Paints hasn't kicked in yet, which is also possible. So for those who don't do much iRacing, you can have your own liveries, but if you use Trading Paints as well, other people can see them, unless it's the Mercedes W12, which iRacing has just launched, where you're not allowed to change the livery.
Well, I think Mercedes said you're not allowed to change the livery. Especially when people started sending Mercedes some Red Bull liveries.
Yes, and this will be a spoiler-free stream, especially for Bruce. Although the Can musical number was somewhat confusing. But it's looking good out there. It doesn't. I mean, the track doesn't look that busy at the moment, but I imagine with all 30 cars, people are going to be tripping over themselves to get a clear lap in qualifying, I think.
We'll see D send it through. Is that the Atwood? No, that's not the Atwood curve, is it? That's
Hairpin Corner, another imaginatively named turn.
Hairpin Corner.
I know, right? Oh, and someone's gone off at the back there. I think someone's parked to have a cup of tea or a picnic. I'm not sure which.
I think these may have been really bad translations from Japanese, based on how simple they are. minus maybe Moss S and Williams, but some of them might have been quite
Yeah.
literal translations.
Or they just didn't think to name them. Because there's that, was it just after Pouan in Spa-Francorchamps, there's no named corner, isn't there?
Yeah, but
Where
I
they
think
couldn't even be bothered to name the corner.
I think no name corner is like in the exams where it said this when it says like this page is intentionally left blank.
Yeah, because I saw an endurance race earlier today on Twitch on another streamer's platform who I shan't name. And one of the team's entry was enter team name here.
So it's genius.
I know we Brits have cornered the markers on satire, but that was pretty good, it has to be said. As we ride on board with D. Smith, I mean, F1 may have had the helmet cam, but we had it a lot sooner. And I can't see what's going on because everything's
That's fine. That's because I'm a top broadcaster and I forgot to load cameras.
Ah, there we go. So I'm commentating blind here, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you completely blind?
Oh no, I'm watching your stream, but I'm going to be 5 seconds behind everyone.
That closed itself.
Already.
That closed itself. That wasn't me.
No, it's okay. It's Discord in Discord. So as D now comes in he's just coming up to Piper Corner now, which leads on to this the third straight here on Okayama. It used to be called Aida, and it did host 2 F1 races in '94 and '95. Both I believe won by Michael Schumacher. And it was in '94 where Ayrton Senna was taken out at the first corner by Mika Hakkinen, I think it was, or Nicola Larini. And he was convinced that Benetton were running illegal traction control. So, yeah, it's not the greatest challenge to drive, I would suppose, but it's a good track. Has the right balance of fast corners, slow corners, and medium speed corners. And I know Bruce is watching. He's made me do drills here in an MX-5. I've still got the bruises. But yeah, one of the challenges will be coming up to this corner here, the outward curve, because it's not a hairpin in the traditional sense. It opens, but you want to carry as much speed as you can out of that.
So I've just been made aware that the map team had to make a last-minute substitution. That's why we now have Jeffrey Decker, I believe it was, instead of Sammy Bridges.
Yeah.
Anyone who came along to watch Sammy Bridges specifically.
And if I may ask viewers in chats on Jack Nice chat, we're on board with D. Smith, and to me it looks very slow. And I don't know if that's just me or not. That looks a bit better, but it just looks very top start. So if you can see that, let us know in chat.
Oh, you mean the frame rate?
Yeah, the frame rate. Oh,
I don't know why Akiyama's causing some issues.
Oh, okay. You need the 3080 in that machine of yours, mate.
I need a second hamster. I don't know what you're about.
Well. Are we going to have races to chat from both teams during the race?
Only after we're going to have Face and Annie in after the both races.
There we go. I hope that answers your question, Cthulhu. Yeah, it's choppy. It looks fine to me. Okie dokie. Well, we'll do what we can.
I could change settings, but it might take a little skip.
Yeah. And so the current positions are Dan Fraser is fastest with the 1:44.63 as all the timing screen resets itself for qualifying. Can't even tell you as fast as in practice. Yeah, we're a real professional outfit.
Normally it's fine, it's just I don't know why Akiyama's now decided to kill everything. So.
Yeah. And here comes the gaggle for qualifying. And this this is going to be interesting because they're going to have to find the space, find the gap, and yeah, it's going to be tricky. There could be some drafting involved, so we might see some very interesting times come up here. And I believe Brian Perez of MAP is the first one out of the pits, followed by Dennis Jakobsen, who will be hoping to, well, finish a race, actually, given his luck in the RTL Endurance League, bless him. So I'm sorry, Dennis, for mentioning that. As we're watching Annie Rabbits, who's actually racing with a sore shoulder, fair play to her. And that's not a racing driver's excuse. She does have surgery scheduled and stuff, so it must be pretty bad for that. But here we go. Oh, this just looks like the A40 on the way to work every morning. It's looking pretty busy out there, isn't it?
Any British motorway.
Any British motorway, yeah. Other motorways are available.
But really not in England.
Well, yeah, perhaps. Weird watching a commentary live. Thank you, Mr. Genius. It's weird doing one live as well, I'll tell you that much. We don't really have much. I don't think anyone's on a flying lap just yet, although I imagine Brian has crossed the line. So I wonder if we'll see some tactical play here from MAP and Snails, with people giving each other a tow to get a good lap time. So here we go then. Brian Perez has just crossed the line as he's about to go to his flying lap. As I thought they were on a warm-up lap. Those are the times for the warm-up lap. Okay. So
Dan's currently leading on the out laps now. Oh, sorry, the flying laps now.
Okay.
I can't remember where the qualifying button is.
There we go. And Dan Fraser with a 148.97 for the Snails, I believe. And Abdul Rahman Mahmoud currently in third. There you go. Hopefully I said that right. With a 149.7. Marcus Artainton with a 149.46. Those are your top three. But we haven't seen Tobias Sek put in a time yet. Nor Mattis Martinsen either of the Snails. And those two are very fast. As we're watching Dan come around. Oh, I've lost the track map. There we go. And he's just coming up to Mike Knight corner and into last corner. And there's going to be quite the tow train here, I think, as Dan punches a Mazda MX-5-sized hole through the air. And everyone behind him is going to get the benefit.
I think are they all Snails though? Apart from the one at the back is a map.
Yeah, there's five Snails nose to tail. Dan puts in a 144.92, Tobias puts in a 144.95, and Charles Webber puts in 145.4. And Mattis, who clearly was sandbagging, is in P4 with the 146.14. As the timing screens are lighting up like a Christmas tree, in keeping with the theme. Goodness me.
Yeah, Dan is super quick here. He's already 3/10 up over Tobias, and Tobias is no slouch. Charles Webber from MAP is now in third place, though. He's looking all right.
And who's car 25? Charles Webber. He's getting a 4-car tow here, which is going to help him enormously heading into the hairpin, into hairpin corner. So this could backfire on the Snails a tiny bit.
So let's have a look at Paddy. I think he's been in the Snails community about 6 months, I believe. I think he did the charity race last week, and now he's doing this rivalry race. So hopefully he can get a really good performance in tonight.
Yeah.
Matt is just saying it's already like a train in the road. As Charles briefly blips around, he's all back on track now.
Yeah, and this should be interesting seeing his lap time. And Tobias is ever so slightly faster than Dan Fraser. And Pete Maborton, the dark horse, into P3 with a 1:45.21. Pete, who did the race to learn with the Skippies, with the Snails a couple of seasons ago. Another very rapid driver.
Yeah, I've never quite been able to understand how he gets so quick, but he definitely does. He's just so quick VR. He's just so quick in that Skippy. He is like a bullet.
Yeah, I know Pete uses VR. I think and I think the highest placed map driver is Charles Webber in 5th. I could be wrong.
No, that's what I am currently reading. He's very quick in the...
Yeah, and Pete apparently, I have it on good authority from Bruce about that Pete is a 7K driver, so you'd expect him to be quick with that sort of iRating.
He's indeed a 6.8 iRating driver. 6.8K, sorry, not 6.8. I'd have been very low on him.
No, that's how I drive, 6.8. To answer your question of Beast Nightmare, Pete is very fast. And I'm pretty sure he's done racing in real life as well.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
No, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. As Marcus Tainton goes 3rd, and Dan Fraser yoinks pole position back from Tobias Sec with a lap time 3/10 quicker, almost 4/10 quicker actually. That's a stonking good lap from Dan Fraser. Excuse me.
Dan Fraser's just ridiculous in the Mazda. Always just outperforms constantly all the people around him in the PCC. I think he drives in.
Yeah. He has grip packs. I don't think he does Adam's right, but I appreciate the humour.
I found the qualifying button.
Aha, excellent. 2 people who haven't gone out yet and put a lap is Travis Montemany and Mark Rush. And as I say that, Mark was in a 1:48.03 to go 28th. But we haven't seen anything from Travis yet. So I think everyone has set a bunch of laps now, and everyone's covered by about 6 seconds from the fastest to the slowest.
Yeah, it's true. I don't even see Travis out on track. No, he's not on track.
No, and he's car number 19 according to the timing screen, and I don't see 19 going anywhere on the track map, unfortunately.
Yeah, so maybe he just briefly had to disconnect, or maybe just lost connection briefly, and hopefully he'll be back to defend the honour of map in very short amount of time.
Yeah, as we're watching Gabriel Kolbrenner. I hope I said that right, Gabriel. Forgive me if I haven't.
I think he's an Aussie.
Oh, excellent. As he approaches hairpin corner. And this is a tricky little complex to get right, because Revolver Corner is downhill, and you can carry more speed than you think, and there is a bit of space on the exit there as well, as he's been chased by who's number 29? Pete Maborton. So far, actually, everyone's been very well behaved. No one's been blocking or weaving or anything like that. It's all been very much above board, which is always good to see. Although Pete is lurking pretty close. I think we should be playing the Jaws music or something.
And it looks like Jonathan Rennie's about to go quick, though. He's had two best sectors of his own time so far. See if he can do something better this time round. He is currently P18. Is he going to improve? That is the key as he comes round the last corner. Goes a little bit wide. That might have been off track. Might have ruined his lap there.
Oh dear.
He ends up going slower, actually.
And that last corner's a pig to get right as well, because
It is. You have to get the rotation early enough so you can get on the power so early. It's crucial to get very early acceleration.
Yeah, and I'm sure Bruce is watching this. And the one thing he was getting me to do when I was doing my drills here was to see how the weight around the car was moving. And so you change how you accelerate and throttle, how you brake and accelerate, to make sure you've got good weight over all the wheels, so the car behaves properly. I know people poo-poo the Mazda in iRacing, but it is a brilliant car to learn weight transfer and vehicle dynamics. As Dan Fraser's showing us with his best lap of 1:44.54 and Tobias 1:44.9. Marcus Artaton is third with a 1:45.15.
No one's currently looking like they're about to improve at the moment.
No.
I'm afraid.
Although Brian Perez has just done his personal best in the third sector, but he's still in 26th.
And it's 2 seconds slower than his best.
Yeah, and Spencer Clark looks to be on a good lap.
Spencer is very good.
That out. He stays 15th. Oh, he goes up to 13th. There we go. The thing didn't update fast enough.
I think it's going to be very difficult to knock Dan Fraser and Tobias Sek off the front row. Marcus Tington and Pete on the second row, crucially for the Snails. That's going to really lock out the front of this race. Obviously, we've got a reverse race in the second, in the feature race, so that'll be quite interesting. There's been no major incidents in the thing. I think Magoo has just gone off briefly.
Yeah.
I think he was just ending his lap, I think.
And no amount of tea kettle buffed that out, I'm afraid. As we're watching Henrik Steenmoller, the instigator of all this, really.
But as it stands, if we can look at the multi-car team, Snails are holding a significant advantage towards the front. In the top 10, there is 6 or 7 of them. 6. Map have obviously 4. The Snails are very strong at the beginning. Fast repairs, I did not set that up. I've not set this session up personally, so that's not on me. I don't have access to that data, I don't think.
Nice Teflon maneuver. As Anya Rabbits has a good last 2 sectors, but her time, she doesn't move on, unfortunately. And
Peter's looking quick.
Yeah. Days 27th. In a very bright green Mazda, it has to be said. And Travis is out on track, which is great to see. Travis Montmany has put in some lap times.
In fact, he's just set a lap.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're in E30, but this might be the first time they've driven around this track in this car. So I'll be keeping a watching brief on how they're doing during the race. As we're watching Travis in that fairly distinctive missed apex.
It's currently looking at quite a spread between Dan Fraser, obviously in first place, and Travis Montmany, 5 seconds, or 4.5 seconds behind. So there is quite a gap yet, but obviously Travis has only just got back on track, so let's give him a few laps to warm up and hopefully get this thing in. But he's running out of time. There's only 25 seconds left to go of the session.
Indeed. And pretty sure I've just seen someone practicing their start as well on the long straight to hairpin corner.
I think that's 2 5-second penalties to them then.
Because I know some will have a double clutch system with their direct drive wheel and whatnot. I'm not going to mention any names because
Steamroller, just go back. That's session over. Darren Bartz is 6th. So let's have a quick look at the grid. It looks like I might have points, so you can tell Henrik and Anya might have points. So we have Dan Fraser on pole with Tobias Sek in second, Marcus Tington in third with Pete Oh, I can't say his name. Sorry, Pete.
Barton.
In fourth, Charles Weber from MAP in fifth, and Darren Barton sixth. Dennis Jacobson is seventh. Abdul Rahman Mahmood, Abdul, in seventh and eighth. The next is D. Smith and Henrik Mola. And we got Mattis Markson, Jeffrey Decker, Mattis in 11th. That is quite the surprise.
Quite unusual.
I did not expect that. As we just quickly briefed, so we've got Spencer Clark in 13th, Jonathan Evans in 14th, Ian Kramer in 15th, Annie Rabbit 16th, Eric Anderson and Jonathan Rennie, Charlie McCartney and Nicholas Snellgrove, Patrick Medinsky and David Burnell, Colin Byrne and Brian Perez, Gabriel Gesk TV and Melody in the next row. And we've got Magoo and Ita Christiansen, and then Mark Brush and Travis Montemini bringing up the rear. So let's see what that does to the start, and obviously for the next race. As we get rid of that, get ready a race.
And interestingly, Dan isn't on the grid.
And maybe just
pole.
Maybe just
no, there's a reason. No, there's a reason why. There he is. He usually leaves it to the last 3 seconds, so your tyres don't cool down on the start-finish straight.
That is true. I was just going to say it's a bit of head games.
Yeah. So I'm not going to try and sound like Mary Walker. You'll all be pleased to know.
Here we go. 3 red lights, 4, 5. And it's all go. Can Dan and Tobias get a good start at the beginning?
And as they come barreling into turn 1, I think Dan's got a cracking start to be a second, Pete McBride third. Charles Webber has jumped Marcus to go into P4 as they enter
Dan
T1.
has held on through the first corner.
Yep, and oh my word, there's a traffic jam for you.
Spencer Clark up a few positions from the start. Nicholas Snellgrove had a horrible start. He found himself right down at the back now. I think Charlie McCartney also had a bad start. As we just watch the field develop the first lap. There's some congestion in the middle now. There's Patrick going side to side with, I think, Brian. It is. Brian gets past him.
Yeah.
As he go through DRS zone, open up the bonnets.
Open up the bonnets, open the boot, knock out the windscreen. And Dan Fraser's already opened a half-second lap on Tobias. Who in turn
very good race.
Yeah. Oh, this could get messy. Breaking into that hairpin. There's usually a couple of Dan Day manoeuvres there in the officials, but everyone's been well behaved here, I'm pleased to report.
But now
there's too much going on, isn't there? We need the third person in the booth to watch with us. Mr. Genius, you fancy being a commentator? As Dan, actually Tobias is right up Dan's exhaust pipe here. But I think Dan is a wily old fox, although you won't appreciate me calling him old. But it's hard in this initial phase to see to put any betting past Dan, Tobias or Pete to win this. But Charles Webber's hanging on gamely here. He's still less than a second away from the lead as he blinks out of existence and blinks back in.
Seems like the track map has now decided it doesn't want to work.
No, that's okay. And Charles Webber's not appearing on my timing screen. So I think the TARDIS has been deployed. So
we've got one person in the pit, David Burnell, must have had an incident. I can't see anything big. Maybe just got to put fuel in the car. Yeah, he had a very quick pit, so that might have been fuel that he forgot to add in. But Tobias is chasing Dan as Charlie's playing the active camouflage role. Yeah.
I think Charlie's mistaking iRacing for Crisis and going into stealth mode. Other great games are available. As D. Smith puts a move on Dennis Jakobsen for P6, and Dennis Jakobsen takes him back. So we have 2 maps in the top 6 now. As D. Smith loses a place to Henrik Steenmoller as well. So it's all kicking off at the back as we see some marbles get flung around there. And
Oh, contact!
And there's contact, and
that's
I think
snail
that's
on snail
Pat,
action,
isn't it? There's a sentence you never thought you'd hear on the internet. Some argy-bargy going on there. And Flappy's having, I would just like to make a special note that Flappy has survived the lap, which I'm sure he'll be thrilled about as he goes around the track.
Fastest lap though, just gone to Marcus Tainton with a 1:45.32. So
my track map is showing a P going around, so is that the pace car?
Oh no, so that's pit position.
Ah.
So don't pit or you'll end up that far back.
Ah, okay. And
some of the close battles towards the back.
Yeah.
We've got Abdul.
Ooh, hello.
Look at this. Oh, there's been a crash. Geeta and Magnussen crashed into each other. That's not good if you're a snail. Let's see if we can. So have they crashed into each other, or what's going on? Oh, that's not good.
Ooh.
That's a big wreck. That's a big wreck.
That's a meatball, unfortunately.
So I assume that's what happened to.
Yeah. As we're watching
Magoo as well. See if we can see what happened to Magoo, because did he get caught up in just carnage?
Oh,
there was just too much concertina affecting right in the middle of that tight corner.
Not the ding dong merrily on high they wanted, really, was it?
I think Revolver just pulled the trigger on the carnage.
Yeah. As we watch Abdul Rahman Mahmoud go off the track there, he's holding steady in P18.
So Magoo and Flyby have jumped to pits after that couple of incidents.
Yeah. I don't know how many fast repairs they have, but Bruce. Oh, hello! And there's massive carnage at the last corner. Huge smash at the last corner there.
Let's see if we can jump to that quickly. That looked massive.
Yeah.
Eagle eyes from Welsh there.
I think Abdul Rahman Mahmoud is involved in that as well.
Oofed.
Oh, yeah.
So that's D. D is spun.
That's D. Oh dear. And Henrik Anderson and Map has just gone into the wall there as well. So we have Abdul Rahman.
Oh, he sent it.
Rahman Mahmoud, D. Smith, Henrik, Brian, and Magnus in the pits.
I'm not sure who the green roll bar is, but they sent it on D and unfortunately clipped them. So that's not going to be good for the overall racing for Snails. But Tobias has just set a new fastest lap with a 1:44.9. So Tobias is really motoring along now, but I don't think he's likely to catch Dan, who's just rocking this race from start to finish. It's kind of Lewis Hamilton in a field of children right now with Dan in that NX5.
Yeah, and Tobias's lap is only it's just under a hundredth faster, a couple of hundredths faster. It's not light and day difference between these two. And Peter's hanging on, and special shout out to Charles Webber as well, who's still within about 2 seconds of this. So
you see Jonathan Rennie send it
this
on Jeffrey Decker, who's got a very crumpled MX5. He's got to be losing a few tenths down the straights with that nose.
Oh, absolutely.
Ooh,
and
that wheel is bent in as well. He might be coming in straight into the pits now, actually. There he is. He's dived into the pits. Because that wheel did not look straight enough to drive. But can Jonathan Rennie now catch Jonathan Evans ahead? Jonathan Evans obviously branded a traitor by Annie in the recent events because he's driving for Map.
Yeah, I wonder how many people will be excommunicado from the Snails after this.
Darren Bart's is playing a defensive role well. Hold them up for Annie Rabbits. So can Annie Rabbits now get past Spencer Clark, or is Spencer Clark going to get round?
Oh, no,
Darren?
I think Spencer's alongside him and Annie's through. And, door handle to door handle here. It's like watching the BTCC.
Some fantastic overtaking there, but I think Annie has now been overtaken again by Spencer, but the side-by-side coming down towards Hairpin Corner. A Hairpin Corner, obviously Annie has the inside. This is where I killed Annie on week 13 last season by forgetting how to brake in a Porsche.
Yeah, Annie's going to need to channel her inner Daniel Ricciardo, who is the last of the late breakers in F1. And yeah, great move completed by Annie Rabbits there on Spencer as she moves into the top 10.
Annie is having a stormer of a race now, but can she hold it on as we head down towards this very tight section, Redmond corner onto
Darren
Hobbs?
Has just sent it. Darren has just absolutely sent that. And
Darren's the Tasmanian devil. He does not stand for anything.
No, the one thing I will say about the Aussies and the Tasmanians, they're not scared of flinging a move into a corner. As we're riding on board on the nose cam with Darren, and boy, this... Hang on a minute, he's not got gloves on.
Darren doesn't need gloves, he's hardcore, he's Australian. they handle rattlesnakes for... Well, not rattlesnakes, handles poisonous snakes for fun.
Ah, right, fair enough. I am told they make excellent pets. Not really. So we're riding on board with Dennis Jacobsen, who's running in P6 and running well, it must be said.
That's a nice car. I like that of all of the Apex. It looks like he's just got the... I think he's just got the spec map rather than the actual paint.
Yeah. But fair play to him. I mean, he is quick, is Mr. Flappy, and yeah, a good bloke as well. And it's good to see him having a good run, actually, and hopefully he won't get absolutely bonked out of the way.
There's Pete defending against Charles Webber.
Yeah. And, and Pete's running with VR as well, so he'll be looking, he'll have that peripheral vision that those with triple screens may not have that sort of fidelity.
Oh, Spencer Clark has crashed. Obviously he was fighting with Darren Bartz earlier. Let's see what happened. Anything fun go down. So obviously side by side it looks like with Annie and Darren.
Yeah.
Annie's going to send it because she has no fear. Or he's just locked up and stopped.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's really that's a bold strategy.
It's a unique strategy. I'll give him that.
Looks like Tobias is actually catching race leader Dan. I like that. Only 4/10 in it.
VR headset failure for Spencer. I understand.
Well, that's gutted.
And Charles putting a move on Pete Mabrotten here, and this.
Yeah, but Pete's got the next corner. Oh, he's tucked in behind. He knows how to race close battle, though, because he's used to them skippies. He knows how to go wheel to wheel without killing anyone around him. So this is not over yet, but currently Charles Webber is on for a podium in his first race of 2.
Yeah, and Marcus Sainton is lurking just far enough back as well. So if this gets spicy, he can nip through for 3rd, and it is looking good for the Snails at the moment. It must be said. They're occupying the top 5 positions. They're heavily loading the top 5 positions, I should say.
As we're on board now with Travis Montminy trying to hunt down Patrick. And once again,
Travis is having a good race.
He is. He started last in like P30, I think, was it?
Yeah, and considering he did very little practice, he's running well.
He's running very quick.
Yeah. And his best lap, okay, it's a couple of seconds slower than the leaders, but if you look up...
Are he playing defensive through hairpin?
Yeah. And the thing is that you don't need to defend if they're not sending a move. You're just defending fresh air, and all you're doing then is slowing yourself down.
Yeah, but it's always good to give intention.
Yeah, but that's how you lose time to the guys ahead of you. Don't defend until you need to do it. But if you are going to defend, defend early. Don't do.
It looks like he is falling back. Unfortunately, he's braking quite late into the first corner. But Charlie is escaping. And
it looks like Darren Bartz has overtaken Andy Rabbits as well. Looking at the timing screen.
Yeah, he just did it a second ago, actually, for P9. Charlie zones out again, unfortunately.
Yeah. And Mattis Mattisson is up to P8. He's made 3 positions. And he's about half a second behind Henrik Steenmoller. So, I've raced with Mattis in the Mazdas actually, and did my first endurance race with him. My first ever endurance race actually I did with Mattis, and he's a very good driver, and he's very fast as well. And yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll be harassing Henrik Moller for P7, and probably soon chase down Dennis Jakobsen as well. But he's got 6.5 minutes to do it if he's going to do it at all. As he's and he's 2/10 behind Henrik Moller now.
Yeah, very, very close. Mattis could catch him here. Mattis is obviously very, very quick.
And Mr. Genius makes the excellent point. Don't blow the engine up like some people did at the endurance race approaching the end of Conrad Strait. And who won that race, Bruce? I believe it was you, was it? I know we almost got P3, and Tobias was ahead of us, and Tobias's team. But yeah, I'm sure that's Bruce doing his best attempt at a humble brag. It just didn't really come off, Bruce. I'm sorry. As we watch Mattis, no late lunges. You know, he might be quite young, but he's an old hand at this sort of stuff, and you know he'll hope to pressure Henrik into a mistake.
I think the Mattis is has a really good chance of overtaking at least Henrik before as he goes a little bit down the inside, but I think he's
and Henrik's defending already, so he'll need to cover that inside line now, or just not accelerate out of the apex as quick. It's another trick to do as well. But I think Mattis is going to have him here.
Yeah,
as we get away at the end of a few moments. As we're watching Spencer Clark close up on Travis. And Mattis has put the move on Henrik. I can see from this, and Henrik's taking it right back. As we're watching Spencer Clark here is.
Well, he's passed. It looks like Mattis has passed.
Yeah. And it looks like it's been a clean battle. I don't see any new scars or dents on that Mazda. So, and Henrik's a very fair driver, in fairness, as Henrik, as Mattis starts chasing down Dennis Jakobsen now. And keeping an eye on the battle for the lead as well. And Tobias Sek is 3/10 behind Dan Fraser. As we're watching Mattis close up on Dennis Jakobsen.
So it's actually some back markers now slowing them down. So this is obviously going to be cost. So map really since. No, the leader.
Oh no, Tobias Sek ascends it, and I can't imagine there's going to be.
Dan has fell down to P5.
I'm sure there's going to be swearing in that cockpit. And the map driver, Brian Perez there. And Tobias senses the opportunity, and oh dear. And as we ride on board with Tobias to see his view of this now. And I think he got caught out by Dan braking where he braked.
Yeah, I think he might have just been caught out as Dan tried to get round the back marker, who obviously isn't going to easily give up the position since it's a rivalry race.
Yeah, and Charlie Webber second behind, and Pete McBrothen up into third, Mac Hussein up into fourth, Dan Fraser in fifth, and and Melody Chance off there. That's she's held on to it admirably, actually. I won't read out that comment, Bruce.
It's a little bit mean. You're supposed to be on the Snails team, I'm pretty sure. Mattis has got past as we just lose everyone briefly. So there's Dennis Jacobson now getting chased down by Mattis Mattisson, who's got past Henrik Moller.
Yeah.
But he's looking to try and get a nice P5. Oh, sorry, a P6.
P6, yeah. And Dan Fraser's fallen away, which makes me wonder if he's got damage on the car, or is he just holding it? You know, he's just going to run station and be P24 on the reverse grid.
I'd be surprised if Dan doesn't have damage, but his Mazda doesn't look too bad. Like maybe.
Well, the right wing mirror is hanging off.
That is going to compromise his ability to look around.
Yeah, and the rear quarter panel looks a bit worse for wear as well. There's quite a sizable dent in that. As I'm sure, the trick now is not to overdrive, and that's the temptation, isn't it? The red mist descending, and then you just go bananas. But as we're on board with Henrik Steenmoller as...
No, it's Patrick.
Well, Patrick now, but we were on board with Henrik Steenmoller as... Oh, and that master has seen every wall.
Yeah, it's my bad. I pressed the wrong button.
It's okay. And Flappy's got that scary crash helmet, which is
Charlie,
always a laugh.
We should say that Charlie for Map is now up to P2 and chasing Tobias down. That gap is not very big, only 0.7.
Yeah, and this isn't... I mean, is it a white flag?
Not as far as I know, it doesn't say white flag.
No, next lap will be white flag. So Charlie's got this lap and one after it to put Tobias under pressure here. And yeah, barring a big mistake from Tobias, I can't see Charlie winning this.
You never know.
I'm afraid.
Stranger things have happened.
Well, we didn't predict that Tobias would take out Dan, so it just goes to show that anything can happen.
Did we not predict that something at the front would happen? I think it's good. So it's reported some people have the white flag. I don't think Tobias does yet, though.
As he goes wide there, and
I thought it was.
Yeah, it's a scenic track. I'll give it that much.
So we're not being told there's a white flag, but there could be a white flag. We'll soon we get told the checkered flag.
Yeah, the one that matters. As Tobias comes around Mike Knight corner to last corner to hopefully win, but under somewhat controversial circumstances for the Snails, it must be said. And I think
should
it's
be able
just
to
as well
see.
Dan can't get hold of him.
That's checkered. No, that's white.
Yeah.
No, that's checkered.
Yeah.
So where?
Oh, and
has Charlie decided he's had enough of following Tobias normally?
And that Mazda over there is strong in the force, as we have the traditional car park at the end of T1.
That is the checkered flag. So we've now got 8 people have crossed the line. Just waiting, obviously, on the last 20 people. D Smith is out. Oh no, D Smith's in the pits. Magoo's in the pits.
Yeah.
Spencer is still. Did he recover?
He
did recover.
Yeah, he's running P14.
That's not bad after a VR disconnect.
No, not bad at all, is it? I can't pick out a driver like the best driver in that race. If I absolutely had to, I'd give it to Travis, actually, to come up 15 positions.
Yeah,
from the start with little practice. He's my driver of Heat 1, it has to be said.
Travis has done very well.
Yeah.
As we wait for everyone to cross the line. I don't think everyone has yet. No, we still got good chunk of people.
Yeah.
Travis being the back of the people on a checkered flag.
Well, according to the timing screen, he's crossed it. So we're waiting for Rahman Mahmoud, Gita Christensen, and Henrik Anderson as they now cross the line. And I think Nicholas Snellgrove and D. Smith are out as we get ready for the next race.
So currently, after Heat 1's results, Snails are winning 137 points to 80. But now we have the massive reverse grid. So let's see what will happen in feature race. It could all change. It all change with Tobias and Dan towards the back. That's 2 big positions. And we are running quite consistent points, to be fair. I think there's a quick warm-up of 5 minutes.
Snails need to go 6 wide the entire track. Don't give them ideas of Beast Nightmare.
So let me just quickly tell you the point system we're running in this session. So P1 is 25, and 21, 18. And then it counts down from 18 all the way down to P20, who gets 1 point. So first place is worth +4, second place is worth +3, and then everyone else is just +1 to the people behind.
Cool.
The feature is not more points, it is the same amount of points. Blame Henrik if you want to blame anyone.
Yeah. I mean, it would be cool to see MJ in here with the Radical. As we said, hello MJ. Yeah. So what was the highlight of that race for you, Jackknife?
Well, you could pick a few moments, one of them being Tobias sending on his own teammate.
I know, right? I don't think there was a snail briefing beforehand, was there?
That's always an interesting thing. So as we can look at the individual awards as well. I know we can't because it doesn't want to tell us the points for that one. I love this software sometimes. So apart from that, then we had obviously Annie, some really good lunges. To get some good positions. Obviously, like you pointed out, we had Travis, who did a fantastic race, gained 15 positions. This next race is 30 minutes with a pit stop in the middle. So that's going to be the interesting thing today.
Yeah.
But with a reverse grid, what we're looking at now is going to be quite a frantic start with some of the slower guys at the beginning. And
Carnage, some are predicting in the chat.
Carnage is kind of expected, is it not? I don't know if the grid will work for... we have to wait for the warm-up to be over. So we're just waiting for this warm. We've got 2 more minutes. Tobias is warming up the fastest currently. But obviously none of this matters for gridding up. It's a complete reversal, as far as Henrik told me.
Yeah.
So, what's Mr. Genius saying? As we have a little break in talking. Only about 3 laps of fuel required. It'll nearly be the last lap when you need to pit. Or 3 litres of fuel required. So it's going to be... I don't know, it's like a bit weird forcing a Mazda to have a pit stop. But especially if they were... I don't know if they limited... They must have limited the fuel and done some testing. But Spencer's now actually going quicker than Tobias. By 10th, 1400ths. But obviously, anyone who's watching along, if you fancy joining a broadcasted touring car league and or future leagues, if you join my Discord, there's leagues coming up. I'm going to try and do a lot more broadcasting in 2022. Obviously, we have the usual Snails Endurance, which will be back the week before Daytona 24 with me, Welsh, and Zach, as usual. That's obviously Daytona. Still keeping the current IMSA classes of GTE, GT3, and LMP2s, but that might change in subsequent seasons. But yeah, if you fancy being part of a broadcast in the future, even if you maybe fancy having a go at commentating in the future, feel free to join my Discord, and you can take it from there, really. But TCR coming up from week 6 to week 11, free to enter for everyone who wants to. As everyone's gridding up now for the feature race. So here's a complete reversal grid. D. Smith and Magoo, Flybright and Snellgrove, Henrik and Gita, Abdul and David, Mark Brush and Jeffrey, Gabrielle and Melody. We got Colin and Charlie, Patrick and Travis, Spencer and Jonathan, another Jonathan and Ian, Annie and Darren, Henrik and Mattis. And then we got Flappy, Dan Fraser, Marcus Tainton, Pete, Charles and Tobias. As everyone is gridding now, we will get ready to join. There we go, everyone's going green now.
And here we go. Oh, and someone's stalled. And oh dear.
There's a few people on the grass, but everyone's moving now as D. Smith takes an early lead. Obviously, he got a little bit T-boned by his teammate in the first race, but we're off again. It doesn't look like anything particularly horrible happened. No one's jumped pits or anything like that. Iron may have started from the pits. That was on the previous one.
Oh, as Henrik Muller's
Gita's jumped
down the
to
order.
pits. Gita's jumped to the pits, actually. Oh, Henrik is.
And Andy Rabbits has fallen down the order to P27. And Henrik Anderson's in the pits.
Let's see if this clears it up or not.
4 into 1 does not go.
Oh, that's a massive.
And there it is.
That's a massive F.
Yeah. Goodness me. And I think that all triggered with one of the Mazdas just not moving off the start line.
Mr. Magoo is overtaking D. Smith, but Flybright is right behind him.
Yeah. Dan Fraser is already up to P13
someone's gone wide. 4th. Nicholas Snellgrove, I think that was.
Yeah, and he did very well to hold on to that.
As you say, Dan Fraser's made it up to 13th already. Charlie Weber's dropped down a little bit.
Tobias is still in P22 behind Pete Mulbroden and Darren Batts, although, as I say that, Pete has made a move on Darren.
Now to 20th.
Yeah, as Magoo comes down the start-finish straight.
Tobias is making good time. He's in P22. I don't think he got caught in anything. I think he managed to survive. Doesn't look like he's had one off track maybe to dodge it. Or no, Tobias is on 0 off tracks.
Yeah.
As Magoo makes a faster lap.
Yep.
But Dan Fraser up to 13th already flying as he comes up to the back of some map cars. I was giving you a quick look at how the spread is at the moment. Map looking strong at the moment, but we got some really fast Snails right behind him. Tobias has already proved that he's willing to take people out. So
even on his own team.
Tobias doesn't see allegiances, he just sees cars.
No. And Dennis Jakobsen, to answer the question, is in P25, Mr. Genius. We don't know what's going on there. I wonder if he got involved in the start line kerfuffle.
No, he started P25.
Yeah, and it's looking very busy down here at the back. And
they're just so congested right in the mid pack.
Right.
But Dan Fraser's up another position. He's now at 14 of the race.
Yeah, as he's closing on Patrick Nederinsky.
Oh, someone's gone. I'm not sure who that is. Who's falling down the other?
I think that's Patrick Nederinsky. Yeah.
Let's see if we can see what happened there. It looks like he's gone a little bit wide, coming out of the corner and touched the grass. He has indeed.
Yeah, and ambition got the better of Artesian, unfortunately. There, you got to be so careful accelerating out of that corner.
Looks like someone just got away with it.
Yeah, and I think Dan lost a position in the process of that happening as well, because he had to take avoiding action.
Yeah, he's down to
And,
13.
big pile up at the back corner there. Someone's gone flying off at the back.
I think it's Darren Bartz. Obviously had a strong first race. And so Darren's currently sending it around the outside. Oh, he's just been caught up. 3 snails. Yeah. That's a 3-snail party.
That's a snail 3-way, isn't it? That's not good.
That's a menagerie trois.
A menage a trois, I believe, is what you mean.
I was saying animals.
Yeah, and Brian Perez is up to first for Matt. So, Map in P1, and it's looking good for them at the moment.
It is looking very good for them. I don't know where he passed him. I can't see where he passed him. Here we go. Let's fighting back. I was going to say, let's look at the lead, the change of lead. So he just got behind him, got some good toe on the straight, and heading down to first corner, had the inside. Pretty nice overtake, pretty clean. But as you say, it looks like Magoo has got the place back and gained a bit, about 4 tenths. Yeah. The Map are still looking very strong in race 2. And they're controlling that top 10 at the moment. But there's a couple of snails poking their head out. So they could easily...
I mean, this is a 40-minute race, but boy, is it spicy.
My correction, 40 minutes, not 30 minutes, as I said beforehand.
Yeah.
But we've still got a lot of...
a lot of action and a lot of carnage. As Pima Burton puts in the fastest lap at 1:46.43. And where's Dan Fraser? Dan Fraser is P11 running 1:47s.
Yeah, so he's now catching the back of, I think, a couple more Map drivers. So Dan is looking to bring some of these points back to Snails and really send it home.
And Mattis has just pinged in a 1:45.81, and Tobias has just pinged in a 1:45.56. So this isn't over yet. I think Tobias has just been measured in his approach, perhaps, but Dan is absolutely flying at the moment.
It looks like Flyby's overtaken Magoo again. Is it the same type of move? It is nice and clean. Gets in the drag in the draft, and then just sails past him on T1. Magoo squeezes him fairly, but just lets him know that he's not happy about it.
And fair play to Flyby as well. He didn't run Magoo off the track as Magoo takes the lead again, and Brian takes the lead again. It's like Bodrum's out there, isn't it?
He's gone wide.
Oh no!
He saved it.
And he's just about held it on. He's just about held on to it.
To be fair, fantastic driving from Flyby there. What
this is good.
A save. But there's a lot of snails you can see in that back crowd now.
Yeah.
Anything could happen.
And D. Smith sends it in on Magoo. I mean, the Snails, I thought they'd all work as a team, if I'm honest, but no, they're like, no, I'm going, and that's an end of it.
So Flyby looks to capitalise on the snail fighting and just send map to the bank.
Yeah.
Obviously, what we said, +4 points over P2. So it's a very important 4 points if he can do it as he tries to break the toe as D chases him down the start-finish.
I don't think he's done enough to break the toe there, though. I think he needs to move a lot further off the line to break the toe. As Dan Fraser's in P10, he's overtaken Colin Byrne.
Let's go and have a look
Colin's
at that.
just taking him back.
Oh. Seriously?
So, yeah, you couldn't make this up, could you? As Sek puts in another fastest lap of a 1:45.56.
Yeah, Tobias is flying, but he's stuck down in 19th. I know it's a gain of 11 positions, but he would not be too happy about that.
I wonder if Jonathan Evans will get the team order to let him past.
He's not on the same team. There is no team order.
Oh, that's controversial. I thought Jonathan was the
to be honest, he's probably safer not having a team order.
Yeah, that's true.
As Tobias does complete that move on Jonathan Evans, but Jonathan Evans is coming back. But Tobias, I know, is very good at protecting, but he hasn't. He's decided to stay out wide. Obviously, this could be critical for the next corner if these stick together, but what a fantastic move by Jonathan Evans right down the inside.
And he's doing exactly what he needs to do as well, which is holding up Tobias to stop him getting anywhere near the front.
So Brian's lost the lead again. Smith is hoping to get away.
Yeah. So Snails in P1 and 3 and 4. So it is looking a bit better for the Snails, but the map team still have 5 people. No, how much is it? 5 people in the top 10. So it is pretty balanced, actually, it has to be said. As Mattis Mattison's into P7, and he's starting to close in on David Burrell. And this is working out brilliantly for Dan Fraser as well, because they're not exactly pointing away with it.
He's sending it on 2, maybe 3 maps. No, he can only do it on 2.
No, and that's some very good driving from Dan there.
Fantastic move. Let's have a look at that again from above. Maybe
as Marcus Hayton is in the pits.
Well, look at that.
That is a cracking.
It takes 2 on the straight and just about
avoids the 3rd.
This could open up to be a very good race for Dan, as he's still chasing down. Is it Charlie McCarthy, who had a really good race?
Yeah.
Last time round.
And it's weird. People were more measured in the 20-minute race. This is like people are just sending it left, right, and centre. It's brilliant.
Yeah, there's so many passes. It's hard to keep up.
Oh, as Dan makes a move on Charlie McCarthy, and I think he's done it. He's completed That's a great move. And his next target will be David Burnell, as Mattis Martison goes past David Burnell.
He's going to cut back. He's done the cutback. What a fantastic attempt on Flappy. I think that is Flappy. His Dan's going to go down the inside of Flappy, and he's made it stick. Is it not?
No, Flappy's down in P20.
So someone else has got Flappy's spec map paint as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Flappy's actually crashed. My bad, Flappy. I'm sorry.
And Dan Fraser. Oh, and someone went power sliding around the back there.
Spencer
I didn't quite see who that was.
I think it was Spencer Clark. It's the only one who went off track. Obviously, he had an unfortunate VR disconnect in the first race. He's just gone for a little grass cutter.
Ooh. Yeah. Dan Fraser's in P7. I wonder if Marcus's pit stop was a planned pit stop, actually.
Unfortunately, we don't have access to that. We don't have Ted Kravitz, I'm afraid.
No.
Who's telling us what's going on in the pit lane. But I didn't see Marcus have any huge issue, though. I think he just entered the pit lane of his own volition. Maybe he's just trying to get out of traffic so he can put some fast laps in.
Yeah, as Dan Fraser comes up to this fight that Mattis Mattison and Magoo are having, and look at that, that's a traffic jam and a half, the head on. And is Dan going to get past?
He's going to get past the first car.
Magoo just racing with his head.
Well, he's really fell down. Magoo, though, he was leading the race for a good amount of time, fighting with Flyboy at the beginning, at the front.
Yeah.
So apparently Magoo's letting him pass. Maybe Magoo's carrying a little bit of damage, or he's just not feeling confident in the car. Because Brian Perez has actually fallen down to P3 and is now getting attacked by Nicholas Snellgrove. Very quick in a TCR, Nicholas. I was really struggling to keep up with him the other day.
And
it looks like
doing the right job here.
Looks like that top. Ooh, there's been a huge incident. 3 cars have died. Magoo, Charlie, and Pete. So we'll watch Magoo. Magoo just went up. I don't know. Oh, he got clipped by Charlie. That's unfortunate.
And that's never going to end well.
So it wasn't Charlie. My apologies. It wasn't Charlie who caught him. Charlie got caught up in it, and then Pete went into the back of Charlie.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate, but I think the balance of power in the top has now changed a lot.
It's
5 to 5.
Yeah. Oh, and this could be spicy. Dan and Mattis are coming up on Nicholas Snellgrove here. And I think Nicholas is just going to let him by. I think, but I could be wrong. As Mattis does a stonkingly good move. Oh, and Nicholas has just oversteered on entry there.
It's unfortunately, it looks like he's rejoined cleanly.
Yeah. They're in P4 and 5 now. And
this is looking really good now for Snails. If they don't mess up, and they could really do it. But we don't know how many people have pitted. I'm trying to see.
Oh, and Dan is sending it on Mattis, I think. Yep, Dan is into P4, and Matt is using his head there, recognizing that Dan's faster.
So P20
and letting him get on with it.
P21 to P30 have all pitted, and everyone above that is yet to pit, according to my timing screens.
Yeah, and Jeffrey Decker's in the lead.
Jeffrey Decker has now overtaken, yes.
Yeah, D. Smith. So
let's see if we can
I'm not sure.
a quick look at that.
Jeffrey's racing for.
He's
I think it's Matt.
Yeah.
And
he's just gone down to
it's into the hairpin corner.
Yeah, well, that's great braking, great control as well.
Yeah.
That's the type of pass you love to see.
Absolutely. And Dan Fraser in P4 now, hunting down Brian Perez, and it won't be too long before Dan puts a move on him.
He's only six tenths behind Brian, and Brian's had a really terrible exit, and here comes Dan accelerating. Can he make it round Williams, or is not quite fast enough
Williams,
yet? As he heads down to the Moss S's, but there could be a lunge into the upward curve by Dan, or is Flyby going to play super defensive?
Yeah.
Flyby's played defensive. But obviously you've got Mattis Martin right behind him, and like you said earlier, defensiveness can breed slower exits. It looks like Dan's got a good run here, and he might just have enough.
And he's in the toe.
You just have enough to send it. I know Flyby's cutting it off again.
Yeah.
A bit of wobbling. But Dan, what speed from Dan. It's just unreal speed.
That's a cracking move. Absolutely brilliant move. Clean and clinical. And
he might let Mattis, with all this going on, Mattis might have a chance to get Flyby too. But with Dan Fraser into third, Snails are looking good for points.
And he's got a bit of open air ahead of him now, so he can really start putting in fastest laps, which we know he's fully capable of.
Mattis!
Oh, that could have been a net code. And I understand from Cleventh, hello, that Jeff works at Twitch. So Jeffrey Decker works at Twitch. So this is a good advert.
I was going to say, do I have to be nice to him, or I'm going to get my channel removed?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mattis!
Mattis gets a stonkingly good exit.
I'm not sure that was contact. That was very, very close, though. That's as close as you can be without contact, I think.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to send it into T1 now.
But yeah, Mattis got the run. Oh, he's braked really early for Mattis. Oh, Flyby's gone wide. Flyby's wide. Yeah. Can he hold it? He can hold it, but Mattis is now through.
Well, that's actually some pretty clever driving from Mattis there.
This is very strong now. Snails with 3 in the top 4, I believe. Yep. So that's good points for the Snails. Map have only got 4 in the top 10 now. Snails of 10 is around face is going to be Brian tonight.
Yeah. Isn't there some sort of forfeit involved as well for the losing team? I understand.
Henrik has to eat oranges and mayo because it's Danny's favourite food, apparently.
What?
Don't ask. South African delicacy or something.
Well, yeah, and a tarantula is a Chilean, South American delicacy, but I don't want to eat it. And the Tobias up to P9, so Tobias is finally getting through the, I don't want to say traffic, because that's an unfair term. Tobias is finally cutting through the field.
Dropped down a little bit, but I think it'd probably be smart for Nicholas not to fight Tobias.
Well, he does. Tobias just nerfing.
Tobias has gone wide. He's kept it just off the grass. Nicholas must have let him pass there because very, very slow.
I think Spencer Clark's going to be a trickier customer, given that he's a map driver.
Magoo's in a map sandwich. Oh, someone went behind him. Colin Byrne.
And the
growing concern, Colin Byrne.
Yeah, your star in VR, he says. He tagged the grass with his inside left front there, and it just whipped the car around.
Kept it out the wall, though. Very good, very good. Yeah, Tobias is now into P8, actually, Ryan. Here's Magoo is getting chased down by Travis, who had a good race last time. Looks like he's having a decent race this time.
And Darren Bartz and Melody Chance are in the pits.
Must be pit stop time now. Yeah, Colin Burns entered the pit lane, maybe just to let his tyres cool while he gets some fuel on board. Jeffrey Decker is still leading. E. Smith by 9/10. So he's having a very strong race, Mr. Jeff.
But Dan Fraser's cut that gap down by a second already in two laps. I mean, Dan Fraser's absolutely flying out there.
Let's see if we can see the top three.
Yeah.
So here between him, P1 and P2, P3, sorry, Dan is mostly improving, but Decker had a very, very good lap on lap 8. But it's only a matter of time you'd have to hesitate to guess that Dan will be right up there.
But the thing is as well, it's how you enter the pits as well, because all too often, I've done it myself, you'll come into the pits already thinking about the exit, and you think, oh flip, I've missed my mark, and then you've got to reverse or edge forward a bit or whatever. So this isn't...
I'm slow into the pit box to try and avoid that.
Yeah.
I know I'm super slow on it.
Oh, hello, and yeah, someone's boxing. I thought someone was going to try and send it just then.
Ooh, nearly lost it going on the grass on the outside. Tobias Sek, I believe, is into the pit lane now.
Oh,
that
yeah,
must have been Mr. Tobias.
On full attack as well, though, Tobias.
Dan Fraser is... Ooh, actually, it's getting tasty at the front. It's very close now.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Genius, you should join the commentary box with this dude. It's always good to have another pair of eyes. It's tricky with two, I'm learning. Yeah, and this... I wonder if D will let Dan through to have a tilt at Jeffrey Decker and then try and follow him through, or...
No,
D is close enough.
I was going to say, I'm not sure D's going to have an option if Dan keeps driving out of his skin like this.
No, although they do say fortune favours the bold, but I'd also say fortune favours the one who has the
had to go a bit wide there to avoid the back of D. He's going to get a nice slingshot around the hairpin.
Yeah. Goodness me. And
let's see if we can...
Jeffrey's gone slightly wide there on exit. And Dan gets that narrower line, and...
I think Dan's got D.
I think so. I just hope he doesn't fight it too hard. Yeah.
So now the chase is on for P1. Dan obviously controversially taken out by teammate Tobias Sek on the first one when he was leading so well. So maybe this is redemption for Dan.
Absolutely. And he's wearing that Nigel Mansell crash helmet as well. So I know it's not Silverstone, but, he's racing out of his skin. And Charlie Webber's having a good race as well, actually, it has to be said. He's in P5.
Yeah, he's gaining...
flying the flag for map.
He's getting away from his teammate Clark behind.
Yeah. So I wonder if Dan Fraser's going to do fuel saving as well, because... the races we've done, Bruce mentioned it in the chat, the races we did with the MX-5 Race to Learn thing, Dan was fast but frugal somehow.
In fact, Charles Weber is actually catching Martis on most of the sectors this lap. Last lap, sorry.
Yeah. As he blinks, as he gets Thanos. Other megalomaniacs out of it.
No, yeah, Charles Weber is very, very quick compared to Matters. He's just slightly invisible half the time. It's really hard to keep track. I'm not surprised Dan has a few world records, to be fair. He is a very, very quick Mazda driver.
Yeah. And I think he's doing the right thing, actually, as well, in staying... he could chase Jeffrey down, but I think staying in the tow, doing the fuel save...
Bias on Jonathan Action.
Oh, this could end badly.
Both very good drivers. Tobias, obviously, generally an alien. As someone looks like they've locked up in front, is that Pete? Pete's had a little bit of an issue. He's had a crash, it seems. Let's have a quick look what happened. All I saw was white smoke as we were following the action behind.
I think
Mac driver's gone behind him. Oh, he just tagged him.
Oh.
That's an unfortunate tag. Could be intentional.
Yeah.
But Tobias is not all that. I'm just joking. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like sometimes when I'm following, I just like try and stick with him and gain some good lines. Someone goes very wide behind. Is that Jonathan Evans?
And Tobias is looking good, actually, for a good
someone's come
position here,
through.
because I think that's Pete McButton getting revenge. I think Tobias is looking good as well, because he's already made his stop.
I think I know the culprit who took out Pete.
Oh, dear.
Mr. Steamroller himself. He promised blood.
I see.
Yes, it was indeed Steamroller who took out Pete.
Brutal. As Jonathan Rennie comes into the pits. But, Tobias made his stop sooner than everyone else. And, he doesn't have to worry about fuel saving at the end of the race. So he can go absolutely full bananas as we come back to the battle for the lead here. And, yeah, it just... Jeffrey's run wide there. This is a very good battle. And both drivers have been very respectful. And I wonder if in the back of Dan's mind is that I can't overtake Jeffrey because he works for Twitch and I might not be allowed to stream again. Something.
Very consistent laps, though, you have to say, about Jeffrey Decker. Very consistent.
And his best lap is only 200 slower than Dan Fraser's. So
this is going to get spicy at the front. It'll be spicy at the front.
Yeah. And I think Dan's...
He's gone for it. Is it going to be a tag? Did he keep it clean? Fantastic. No, you don't like to see that. That's unfortunate from Jeffrey. Looks like he's lost a wheel.
Yeah, that left-hand side is looking a bit second-hand.
Accidental, I think. I'd hesitate to say that was malicious in any way.
And Dan's not a dirty driver. He really isn't.
He just unfortunately drifted a little bit with understeer too wide.
Yeah, I think Dan might have thought he was already far enough ahead to be able to take his normal line there, I think.
It happens, unfortunately. It has left Jeffrey falling down the order now. And with a Snails 1, 2, 3 as it stands, but Charlie is chasing the pack. Mattis has overtaken Mr. Smith, actually.
Yeah.
And that is a very tight battle between them, between positions 2 to 4. As it looks like D's gone a little bit wide. Can Charles capitalise on this? There's a bit of a train.
Yeah. And Tobias is in P11, less than a second behind Henrik Steamroller. So, and let's not forget, most of the people ahead of Tobias haven't stopped yet. But they'll make a smaller pit stop because they won't have to take on as much fuel.
Henrik on Tobias. Tobias on Henrik. Henrik has the inside.
Yeah, and that's tricky for Tobias because he's on the marbles there, but he might... No, he's not far enough from side of me.
There's not enough grip on the outside line to really get a good wing shot unless you've got the car rotated to the absolute
Dan
perfect.
Fraser in the pits. Dan Fraser in the pits, and his pit stop, it needs to be about 10 seconds.
It's not going to be 10 seconds because that's a pit lane.
Oh, okay. Pit lane entry, yeah.
Fraser had a 16.4 second stop in the box.
There we go.
As you can see.
And Charles Webber's was 16.27, so he's made up a bit of time there.
Charles is in the pits.
Yeah, Charles went in right behind him.
So we still haven't seen a pit stop from the top 7 yet at the moment. They're the last ones to need to pit.
And Henrik Moller, no, Henrik has stopped. Oh, so Henrik could be P3 here, unless Tobias gets past him.
Yeah, Henrik has indeed stopped, so... he's still got White's the gap. P1 is 40th. 40 seconds ahead, sorry. As Tobias goes again.
Oh, this could be,
we're going through
spicy.
The Moss S's. But Henrik has got the inside line again.
Yeah.
Will there be more blood from Henrik spilled on this corner?
No, both of them have been very respectable there. It has to be said, very respectful. But he has that inside line, and I'm pretty sure the wing mirrors just gave each other a high five there. That's how close they got. As Pete McButton watches with interest to see how this one's going to play out.
No,
And Tobias later on the brakes, but he just can't get the turn in.
Goes for the cutback though. Tobias could get the cutback. Does he have enough speed? Not quite. So this is going to be quite an interesting battle.
As Mattis Martinson comes into the pits as well.
Yeah, it could be a very quick stop. Let's see where Henrik is in regards to... Sorry, Henrik's steamroller has pitted. Sorry, that's what you had said earlier. Yeah. He is behind Charles and Dan Fraser. So...
And Mattis, a 10.65 second pit stop. So Mattis could be in the net lead here.
Very
he's just
quick.
coming up to pit exit. And
so here comes, is that Dan Fraser down that pit straight? Probably has the speed, yeah. Dan will probably inherit the lead overall.
Yeah.
But Spencer's fighting D at the front. Obviously, this could be a crucial position further up the field after everyone else pits. Let's just have a quick look. It looks like, as it stands, Map are quite in charge, but still a few pit stops to go, so that could all change very quickly. Currently, Dan Fraser, though, is up 20 positions than he started, but Charles Webber is up 21 positions from where he started. So, them two probably the stars of this second race.
Yeah, and Mattis Martinson as well. I mean, he started. Where did Mattis start? Yeah, he's up 17 positions.
Tobias has the inside for the hairpin corner. This could be the one.
Pete Broughton's going to try and follow through, I think.
Pete might get revenge on Henrik yet. Who knows? No, Tobias has stuck it, pinned it on that inside. Yeah. Stuck to the apex like it was glue, but Henrik's not giving up easy as he forces Tobias wide just to manage to avoid the gravel using all of the Astro available. But Tobias looks like he's got the move done as Pete is now chasing Henrik.
And I think Henrik's lost a position to Pete there.
He has indeed. So Henrik is now falling down the order to the Snails, and that is not going to be happy for him. Gita Christiansen has jumped to pits, so they must have had an issue. I don't think they were having a particularly good second race, unfortunately for them. But it looks very healthy for Snails right now.
Yeah, and
Annie is going to be partying into the night. And by that I mean she's probably going straight to bed because she has to get up early in the morning.
Well, kids and a dog, a busy life, isn't it? Seems to have stalled in P9 because I thought he'd be a bit further up there, to be honest.
Charles Weber is very good. He's really performed well in this second race. So, Annie is currently running, sadly, down in P28. She's not had a good race. She's down 7 positions. My apologies, but she's not having a good race, unfortunately.
I wonder if her shoulder's giving a jip.
Also,
she's running clean lines. It has to be said.
Obviously, Colin Byrne, after that spin, is running a respectable P25, another map streamer. And Melody is, I think she's just having a very similar race to last time. Yeah. But still, very solid, keeping map in it as much as she can. So, Annie was killed at the beginning with a meatball, I'm being told, from my track sources.
Yeah, I think that was the incident on the start-finish straight where one of the Mazdas didn't move and there was a pile-up.
It could possibly be. As we see Brian Perez, who was obviously fighting for the lead earlier and then before dropping back, is now yet to pit and running in P3, but that's not a big gap down to Martison, and it's about a 47-second pit lane altogether. So that's not. That's probably going to drop him down at, as of now, about 9th. Oh, sorry, further than that.
8th. No, he might drop down to.
And he could drop down as far as like 20th.
Yeah. So, sorry. As Dan gets out of the slipstream of the map cars here, and for all the talk of rivalry and stuff, the racing has been clean and respectable. It has to be said. It's not been
I think it's been
banger racing at Essex.
I think the worst racing's actually been in-house. There's been some of the worst incidents between teammates rather than anything else.
Well, I'm not going to say anything because I'm not a great racer myself. I don't have great race craft. So, as D. Smith
he's
comes
pulling into the
pit.
pits, yep, so he's going to drop down a little bit. And
it'll be interesting to see what Abdul does. I'm pretty sure he'll need to pit, as will Brian Perez and Travis. Ultimately, as I say that, they all come into the pits. So Dan Fraser should take the lead of this race.
He's coming round the final 2 corners, Mike Knight, and then last corner, but he should be comfortably in first position when all this is said and done.
Yeah.
He comes, and no one's come. First person's moved, and that's D. D has been the first one to move out of the pit lane. So we do have 2 Snails followed by 2 map drivers, and then 3 Snails. If we quickly look at how the standings are doing, we got 6 Snails in the top again, and 4 maps in the top again, just like the previous race, roughly.
Yeah. And Tobias has had a good race. I mean, he's up into P6 and he's made 24 places. He'll be and he's only just behind D. Smith, so he'll be very eager to make a move. And as I say that, eagerness proved.
Yeah, D was running a little bit slower than Tobias in the last 5 laps.
Yeah.
But D is holding the inside, possibly unwisely. We'll have to see how this works. No. Oh no, sorry, on the outside. Outside.
Yeah. And D very sensibly just lets Tobias get on with it. He knows he's faster. Now Tobias's next target will be Charles Webber, who's another 4 seconds up the road.
Tobias just runs off track very briefly. Getting a bit squirrely, it looked like.
Yeah, he does like to live dangerously, it has to be said. And consider, he races with stuff attached to his desk. He doesn't use a rig, and he has to hold the pedals with his feet when he's braking and stuff. So, fair play to him. He has an awful lot to do.
Yeah,
I shudder to think how much faster he'll be when he doesn't have to do all that.
And Tobias just casually deconstructs his racing setup to do some work and then puts it all back together again. And there's still like 3-4 seconds faster than pretty much most people that come up against him, apart from maybe Ras Viri.
And Corey.
Yeah. Corey's very, very quick.
Yeah. Because his lap times, I think Tobias still has the fastest lap. As he starts ripping it into Charles Webber here now, as he's, he's got 3 minutes to make that.
You are indeed correct. Tobias is the leader of the fastest lap currently, but there's no extra points. We should remind the viewers, no extra point for a fastest lap in this rivalry race.
And it has to be said, it's looking good for the Snails. I think they occupy most of the top 10 now. As we watch Tobias in P5. And Charles Webber's last lap was a 1:46.53. Tobias's last lap was 1:46.96. But he was trying to pass people. He was trying to pass D at the time. And
it's kind of an insurmountable gap with only 2 minutes to go.
I know. Well, 2 minutes and a white flag lap, isn't it? So he might.
It all depends where the leader is.
Possibly 3 laps. Yeah.
As Dan goes around the last corner, followed closely by Mattis, actually. I don't think... Do we get a flag on this lap? No flag has been waved currently.
No.
So we're still on racing laps.
Yeah. And Tobias has sliced that gap down a little bit, but, I don't know if he's done enough.
I think it'd be some inhumane driving. Superhuman even. Not inhumane. To catch Charles ahead. Because Charles might be a little bit slow, but he's very quick.
No Tobiases were hurt during this race.
The greatest thing is about Charles is because he's been blinking a bit, that the software is reporting his top speed being 720 miles per hour. So there might be some investigations in Park Ferme after this. As Nicholas Snellgrove is fighting with Abdul. Ooh, Nicholas is in like a map sandwich here. But he's gonna go down the outside. I don't think Flyby is gonna thingy, but is he gonna contact with Abdul? No, they stay out of each other's way just about. Abdul goes down the inside, forces Flyby right wide. Sorry, not Flyby, it is Abdul wide. Jonathan forcing Abdul wide. My apologies. Yeah. That was some aggressive driving from Jonathan Evans.
And Tobias has got the gap down by a second, but it's still, barring a mistake from Charles Webber, he's not going to get that position, unfortunately.
And overtaking hard at the best of times,
Never. Do we get a flag this lap?
Do we get a flag? There's a white flag lap. We are on the white flag lap. Jump on board of our leader, who is now going through Williams on the final lap of the second race. They're looking very, very tasty for the Snails right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can get the championship to update itself, but we will see.
Exactly.
I will just quickly remind viewers, well, not remind, I'll quickly thank everyone who's tuned in. We're going to have some conversations with Henrik Steamroller and Annie Rabbit after the race, when it's all said and done. But it looks like Dan is going to bring this home for a Snails victory in just about half a lap's time.
And a Snail 1-2 as well, no less.
Indeed, a Snails 1-2 is fantastic, as Spencer's really trying to catch Mattis. Is he going to make any big moves on the final lap? Maybe we just finish the race. Finish the race on board with Spencer. This could be a tasty final sector. It seems like the frame rate may have sorted itself out slightly now we're in a race.
Yeah, this isn't a league, Dr. Arcade. It's a rival race. Oh, and Spencer gets close, but Mattis gets a cracking exit. It's going to
be fantastic, and your race winner is
Dan
Mr.
Fraser.
Dan Fraser. Sorry, I was seeing that two people have just crashed a map and a nail. It seems to have crashed. There's Melody Chance has gone for Melody. It at the hairpin corner.
Oh, that's a.
Oh
no, that's a bit of a
ran out.
defense.
They just ran out of room. I think. I don't think she realised how much track Iron had. That's unfortunate, but
I think Iron shut the door a bit cheekily there. That's how I saw that, I'm afraid.
I'm assuming Tobias crashed after the whistle. Yeah, this is after the flag. It looks like this is the final. Based on quick maths, I would have to say.
I think the Snails have got it, haven't they?
So this is for this race, Heat 2. Oh, we're waiting for
that's Heat 1.
Sorry, Heat 1. We're just waiting for everyone to pass the start-finish line for that to update. But I don't think everyone quite has yet. I'm just waiting for a few stragglers. There we go, up to P27 on... Well, Patrick is last, I believe, yep. So we got Patrick and Henrik and Annie, so 3 Snails riding together at the finish. Maybe doing a little bit of a... Maybe get the Scottish flag hanging out of Annie's... one side of Annie's car and a South African flag out the other. So I think her team has come home and beaten Map in this first rivalry race I've ever had to commentate on. It was a fantastic race. Amazing all around from everyone. Feature race. For feature race, we can now show points, I believe, as people die. So
Don't show the points yet, man.
This is the result points, not the championship points.
Okay, great.
I'm
Sorry,
allowed to show what I want. This is
again.
my broadcast. I'll have you know, Mr. Face. So, based on quick maths, though, I would say we all know what's happening next. Just wait for Annie to jump in, and we can maybe see what the points are. But, like, once again, me and Welsh would like to extend our thanks to everyone who tuned in. Obviously, we do this so to entertain you, and as long as you're entertained, we're doing an alright job. Apologies for the beginning, there was a bit of teething. I've never had to do all of the overlays on my own before. That was that was a trial by fire, despite my training. But no, it was a very good race, very fun overall.
There's some salt in the chat as well. Tension's just been a fact from the start. It's just a matter of how much Matt would be humiliated. Wow. The rivalry is real.
Rivalry might actually be dead.
Good evening.
Hello, Annie.
Right, so who won this?
So, I'm going to hope it all worked out.
We did.
Yeah, that totally didn't work out.
It's a draw, another race.
Alright, so we're just going to do a quick math.
Phew.
So, Heat 1, Snails won by 57 points. And in the feature race, Snails won by 17 points.
Yes!
So,
Ouch.
I can finally put this on the screen. Snails win. Snails
Yes!
win. Congratulations, Annie,
Oh,
and the Snails community.
Damn it.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, so it's swearing.
That's fine.
thank
Actually,
you.
it's not. It's
Thank
broadcast.
you. Thank you.
So, we
Thank
heard
you
you had
very
a
much.
horrible start to the race, of the second race. Annie,
Sorry, say that again,
I said
Jackknife.
it sounded like you had a horrible start to the second race based on a few track reporters I had in my chat.
Yes, yeah, no, there was. I'm not too sure what happened. I'll go and watch the replay to be honest with you. But yeah, it wasn't the best start. There was a few incidents that I'm aware of. So, but yeah, overall fantastic racing from the Snails. I'm very proud of the Snails. They did a fantastic job to keep our name high, and a great team. So thank you very much for the Snails. They did us proud. Thank you very much.
There we go. I finally figured it out. We can clarify that the Snails did win by a total of 74 points.
Ooh.
So that is a big margin, Henrik. How do you feel about that?
I feel betrayed. I was betting on my team. You know, the stakes were quite high, and yeah, that's gonna get exciting.
Yeah. So are you looking forward to your oranges and mayo?
I made a bet with Annie that if her team won, I would be eating oranges and mayo because that's a snack to Annie and disgusting to everyone else.
What mayo did you choose?
I don't know. I don't have the mayo yet. It's not going to be on this stream.
Okay.
But
Fair
we're going to have to talk about the mayo type. The guys in maps were saying it should be super heavy duty industrial grade.
Oh
So
jeez. Okay.
Spuddles is currently rebelling against the person who suggested this race, so...
I would like to say thank you to everyone participating in this one. It was fantastic and
Yes.
quite some racing. A little close racing at some times. I'm really looking forward to watch the broadcast, and I want to thank you guys as well, Jackknife and Welsh, for handling the broadcast for us guys. It was awesome.
It was a pleasure. Like we love doing it. Obviously, two great communities. Jokes aside, obviously everyone's all friends here, so no one get too angry at everyone. It's just a fun competition between two great communities. Obviously, check out everyone who's streamed from. Well, Annie streamed from the Snails, and there was a few from Map, like Henrik, Colin, Melody, Spencer. Brian and Charlie, maybe.
Yeah,
So
I think Charlie as well, yes.
But a massive thank you to you guys as well for allowing me to do this. It was a lot of fun. Me and Welsh had a lot of fun watching the craziness, especially Tobias killing Dan on race 1. That was interesting.
That was quite a celebratory moment on the maps team. Oh, he just killed Dan.
Thank you very much for putting this together, and it was great fun, folks. Thank you very much. It was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed the banter, especially in Discord. It was good fun. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Annie, for taking me up on this bet.
Always up for a bet, Steamroller. Always.
Was happy because she won.
Of course I am. Right, folks, I'm going to say goodnight on the side because I want to go and speak to the Snail team now.
No worries. Thank you very much for popping in. Everyone, check out Annie Rabbits on Twitch.
Thank you very much.
Good night to you.
Good night.
Thank you.
And good night to Henrik. Also, you should check him out on Twitch. He's Henrik Steamroller. And then now we're going to say goodnight. Fantastic. It was great to do this broadcast with everyone in chat, everyone on track. Obviously, lots of fun rivalry and pointing each other. I hope you enjoy it. If you're in the race, I hope you go back and watch the VOD. I'm going to try and put a highlights package together if I can. But me and Welsh are going to sign off, so it's bye from me and Welsh. Welsh is not here anymore, apparently. So I'll say bye for him too. But we will see you next time. Thank you, everyone who came along. Hope to see you again in the future. Like I said, my Discord is hosting more broadcasts in the future if you want to be part of either staff or participants. So feel free to join my Discord. And I will see you next time.